Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, readers of all persuasions. It is I, Gayla, and welcome back to Book Uncorked and Caffeinated. And we are doing a Books and Bubbles night, or not Books and Bubbles, but Books and Grapes night. I'm having a glass of Sauvignon Blanc. We haven't done one of these in a long time. I've always done my videos primarily in the morning time or the afternoon. So I'm always drinking coffee, but we haven't did a Books and Bubbles and we haven't did a Books and Grapes. So welcome back to Books and Grapes. Like I said, I'm drinking a Sauvignon Blanc. And I'm just enjoying my evening at home, and I decided to, do my little video so you guys can have it on Sunday mornings. That's nice. I opened that bottle yesterday, so I'll probably finish it tonight. I'm not going to lie. So as the thumbnail says, we are going to talk about all the books that I bought in the month of August. So I'm filming this August 20th. And I'm almost certain that this is the only book haul for the month. But if there's a part two, I would do like a part two at the very end of the month. But so far, since I've been home, I've done a little damage. So I went on a vacation at the beginning of the month, got home, was a little sick, as you can tell in my previous videos in a little bit. Now I'm doing way better than I was. But I have been buying books. So I want to first start off with the books that I bought on vacation. And this wasn't intentional. I bought these books literally like on the last flight coming home, because we had all these flights because I went to the Maldives, and if you've gone that far or that part of the world, it takes you a long time to get there. And so this was our last stint coming home, and I was just walking around the airport because that flight is super long and I didn't want to just sit, so I left the lounge a little early, walked around, and I stopped at one of the kiosks where you get snacks and things. And it was a bookshelf of like books that were on sale. And I was like, well, we gotta do a book that's on sale. So the book that initially caught my eye is titled Black Moses by Alan McBankle. This is the book right here. And first of all, it's a gorgeous cover. And I started looking and I was like, ooh, let's see. It says, the larger-than-life story of an African Oliver Twist who thinks he's Robin Hood. So I thought that was super, super cool. It wasn't expensive at all. It was like under $10. So I was able to pick that up at the airport. And then the second book that I picked up was Butler to the World, Oliver Buller. I don't know how to pronounce that, unfortunately. And it says, this is a defining story of our times. It says how Britain became the servant of tycoons, tax dodgers, and criminals. So, yeah, that sounds interesting as well. So I got those two books while in the bookstore in Bahrain. Bahrain is in the Middle East. And so we did that. And then when I got home, I was home a couple of days because I wasn't feeling well. And so once I was feeling well, I kind of like ran to Barnes and Noble because I was just feeling a little needy and trying to get some new books. So I went to Barnes, and so that was the Saturday, August 8th. And I was just walking around, no rhyme or reason. No, I'm a little lie. I went because one of the books that was on my video when I said what's in my cart had already come out, and I wanted to get it, and that's Take What You Can by Miss Coster. So this is the newest book by her. I have Halsey Street by her, but this is the newest book. So I knew I wanted to pick this up, so I went specifically for that. And then of course, you always get the things. And so I also got Sins of a Survivor. Blair Underwood's presents Sins of a Survivor. So I read his book that came out this year, kind of like a tribute to his mother, and I enjoyed it immensely. So I said, okay, Blair Underwood is presenting something else. This sounds super good. So yeah, so I decided to get this book as well. It says Harlem Shuffle meets The Godfather in this fierce and dazzling crime family saga from award-winning actor and producer Blair Underwood and filmmaker Joe McClane. So Harlem Shuffle meets The Godfather. I like that. So it says Sins of Survivors. And then the last book I got in that Barnes haul was, I was almost out the door and I looked and I said, what is happening here? So it said History Lessons. It's a mystery by Zoe Walbrook. That's a beautiful cover. I think that's what caught me. And it says a college history professor must solve her superstar colleague's murder before she becomes the killer's next target in this brazen and brainy debut mystery. So this is a debut for the author. So I was super excited about that. And that looks super good. So I got that. And then I could have waited to the next day, but I didn't, because this bookstore actually was a little ways away. It was about an hour away. It was in Baldwin, Long Island. And I'm actually going to do a little doohickey on the bookstore itself. But I'm going to just present the books real quick that I got from them. So also Cool Machine by Carlson Whitehead was also out at the time, and I wanted that. That was in my cart for one of my last videos. So I picked that up. And then walking around the store, When Chicken Heads Come Home to Roost by Joan Morgan, a hip-hop feminist breaks it down. And I was like, yeah, that sounds hella good. And so I picked that. Ooh, sorry. My hands is in the middle of the artwork. So I picked that up as well. I think that's on a play on words that Malcolm X used. It says, let's see what it says. It says, Morgan has given an entire generation of Black feminists space and language to center their pleasures alongside their politics. So cool. And that was from Janet Mock, author of Redefining Realness. And I actually have her book as well. And then before I got out of there, I went to the children's section and I was just looking. Sometimes I add children books to my bookshelves for myself and also for the young people in my life. Because I find that children books say a lot of meaningful things in breaking down where young people can understand it, whether they're teenagers or not. And so I thought it was good to pick up a book. And then the author is E.B. Zaboy, which is one of my favorite authors. So The People Remember. So isn't that gorgeous? The People Remember. And it says the people will gather the pieces of fabric, cut, torn, and shredded, and made unrecognizable by the storms of time, to sew together a tapestry of their stories, one fine quilt, a blanket for children to keep them warm, protected, and safe. The people remember to always have faith. And so I picked that up. One, because it's beautiful. Two, is by E.B. Zaboy, which is one of my favorite authors. Quick true story. I used to work with her husband, and I was reading her stuff, and then Mr. Zaboy came to work with us at the school, and I was like, Zaboy, is there a connection? It doesn't have to be. And lo and behold, there was a connection. I was like, oh my God, I love your wife. And it's so funny. The English department at the time was doing like these author reads, and she agreed to come in, and I was able to meet her. He brought her to my classroom. I totally girl fanned out. My kids was like, oh my goodness, Miss Gilmore, because I have like this tough exterior. And I was like, I'm a thug. Ain't nobody gonna bother me. But she's such a brilliant writer. I have a few of her books. I really want to get all of her catalog at one point. But she's awesome. Just an awesome person, down to earth, you know, Black woman, you know, doing her thing. So it was funny because her husband is also a cool guy. So it was just so cool to have like one of my favorite authors and to work with her husband. So yeah, anytime I didn't realize she had a kind of a children's book, so to speak. So yeah, I'm excited about just reading this myself and then having it in my office so people can see it. I don't work with them anymore, but it is what it is. And then, so that was Saturday, Sunday, then another week went by. And so what date that just passed? Today is the 20th, I guess the 12th. I don't know. This past is the 20th today, so last Saturday. my friend and I met for, I guess it was the 15th. Yeah, it was Saturday the 15th. My friend and I, we went to high school together, and we meet like once a quarter. We had a mutual like brother friend, and we cultivated our own relationship outside of the relationship we had with him. And so we meet like maybe once a quarter for dinner to chop it up. She's a foodie, I'm a foodie. And so we get together, pick a restaurant, and go chill. And she usually brings me little gifts. She's such a mom, right? She has three children. And she's always like buying like little teacher gifts and things like that. And she always brings something. I always feel so guilty, but I love her because she's so authentic in the gifts that she gives, and it's really like for you, for that person. And so she knows I like wine, and she bought me wine pairing for the people. And this is the community of wine, food, and culture from Africa and beyond. And so Shy McCoy, she used to have a wine store, wine experience in Albany, and I never got a chance to make it. And I think she has since closed down, but this is her latest book. And I was so happy to get it. So she bought this for me. She was out and about one day, and she saw it, and she thought of me, and she brought me this gift, which I thought was totally cool. And it was one of the wine books I haven't had in my collection as of yet. So yeah, I thought this was super cool that she got that for me, because she knows I like all things wine, like authentically I do, and I like to learn about wine and pairings of wine and regions of wines and things of that nature. So I thought that was cool that she got me that book. So I got that Saturday, and we were in the Union Square area for lunch. And so they had the farmers market, so we went there. But there's also by the Union Square Barnes and Nobles, which I think is the biggest one in the city. And so they had 50%, this week they're having 50% off of their hardcover books. And so I didn't have any particular thing that I wanted to pick up. And I was just moseying around the store, and I said I wasn't gonna buy anything, and then I saw like one thing, and then of course I had to pick something up. My voice is getting a little dry. Let me take a little sip. I probably should be drinking water, but who's gonna do that? So 50% off hardcover. So I picked up a couple. So one of them is a book that I was gonna buy anyway, or I wanted to buy. I never picked it up. By Ellis Stratton. She wrote Not So Perfect Strangers. This is her latest book, Sundown Girls. And so I picked that up. I even slapped that big sticker on there. But this is the latest for her. And so I said it's 50% off. Absolutely, tootly. It says when 16-year-old Naomi Ward and her family head to a secluded cabin in Sparksburg, Virginia for summer vacation and to heal the wounds of their past. They have no idea about the small mountainous town violent history. But soon after their arrival, Naomi starts to get a bad feeling from the stares her family gets as practically the only black people in town, to frightening encounters with a local hellraiser who nearly runs her family off the road, to the unyielding stench of place which only Naomi seems to smell. And so I wanted to get it, and it's 50% off, so I said why not. And I took a little walk around. This book I wasn't gonna pick up. I probably would have borrowed from the library, but this was like all the rage in the beginning of the year. Junie by Aaron Crosby Eckstein. And it says a young girl must face a life-altering decision after awakening her sister's ghost and navigating truths about love, friendship, and power as the Civil War looms. So it wasn't something I was super interested in. It is a black author. It's described as speculative historical fiction. Well, she writes speculative historical fiction. And so I said, since it was half off, why not add it to my collection? And then I moseyed all around, and this was an author unknown to me Not really familiar. I've seen his work before though. He wrote Hell of a Book, if you're familiar. But this book that I picked up is People Like Us by Jason Mott. Alrighty. And so it says the rivering new novel by the author of the 2021 National Book Award winner and bestseller Hell of a Book. So that makes me want to actually look up Hell of a Book. I've seen it before. I've seen the the cover before, but I never picked it up, didn't know who he was. So he is a new author to me. It says People Like Us is Jason Mott's electric new novel. This isn't a memoir, but it's kind of a true story, mixing reality and fiction. Mott's latest explodes with dreamlike experiences that put a reader in, from time travel to sea monsters and peacocks to feelings of love and memory so real they hurt. Oh, cool beans. So that's where we at, and I'm probably gonna pick up Hell of a Book. And last but not least, from that book shopping experience was Dr. Ibram Kendi, Chains of Ideas, the Origins of our Authoritarian Age. And this is his newest book. I think it's his newest book. If I look at 2026. That's his newest book. It says, recall the words chanted in Charlottesville, Virginia. You will not replace us. Recall the strings of mass shooters across the globe. In Buffalo, El Paso, and Pittsburgh, who claimed their crimes were a defense against white genocide. Recall business and media figures cultivating anxiety and fury over demographic change. These incidents only scratch the surface. Popular and ruling politicians in every region of the world have expressed some version of great replacement theory, eroding democratic norms in the names of preventing demographic change. And I thought this was good. So I have his other book, which I have yet to be in anti-racist, and it also comes with a workbook that I recently got, so I need to get into both of these. But I thought this was super cool. This is probably something I'll pick up like during the year and read. Yes, I have a few books that would take a little bit more time for me to read because I want to get into them and make notes and stuff like that. What I'm thinking about doing is reading this straight through at first and then rereading and making notes and things that I can refer back to when in conversation with people. Then, so we left one another. We go home. It was still kind of early. I got back. I picked up my car. And then I rode by my local Barnes & Nobles because I was like, what else is out in these half-price book streets? And so I went to my local Barnes & Noble. And the first thing that I picked up, which I should have picked up early in the day, and I kind of was on the train coming back home regretting I didn't do it, was Nika Giovanni's the new book, Poems, Letters, and Blurbs and Things. So when I saw this, I was like, well, this is the second time I've seen it today, so I gotta pick it up. So Miss Nika Giovanni, she's no longer with us. I have a couple of her things, but this was the latest book that she wrote. Then Lovely One, Ketanji Brown Jackson. This is her memoir, but this one is a memoir adapted for young adults. So I have the original, but this one is for young adults. An inspiring memoir from the first Black woman ever appointed to the U.S. Supreme Court, now adapted for young adults with exclusive content. So I was gonna say I'll probably have this in my office. I'm not gonna lie, I'm not. I might pull things from it to talk to kids about, but yeah, or if I bring it to the office, it's gonna be for kids. I know that will bring me my book back. So that was one book. And then we went upstairs to like the discounted section, and so I got London Hughes, Leaving My Best Life Behind. I've heard of this young person before. Let me just show it to you. This is an autographed copy, an uplifting, funny memoir to show you how to ditch self-loathing, an uplifting and funny memoir to show you how to ditch the self-loathing, start the self-loving, and engage with your inner winner. Read a little bit about her. London Hughes has come a long way from secretly writing Frasier from fan fiction alone in her bedroom. Between her breakout Netflix comedy special To Catch It, DICK, and her award-winning TV performances, London, the South Londoner has taken the entertainment world by storm. And now in this sassy, brash, fearless, and funny memoir, London is ready to inspire women of all ages and races with her story, because London is absolutely the best person in the whole world, would like to take you on a wild journey of self-discovery. And I thought that was cool. I heard about it before, wasn't quite familiar, but it was on the discounted book list. And the last book that was on that list was new author to me, Max Loeb, A Long Way from Douala is the book. And it says, teeming with local color, his hilarious, heartwarming coming-of-age tale follows two friends on a raunchy journey across Cameroon as they grapple with grief, sexuality, and dreams of leaving. And so I picked that one up. And then I got myself a little treat. If you know me, you know I love bacon. And they happen to have a bacon bookmark. I know that sounds crazy, people, but that's how much I love bacon. Sorry for the non-meat eaters on this platform. So those are all the books I got last Saturday. And then I have one more thing to show you, I believe. And I went to, two more things. I went to Home Goods, just knocking around the next day on Sunday, what I usually do. And they had a paint by sticker book of music icons. And so I picked it up. So when you look inside, it's like the blank picture, right? You can't really see that. And then they have the pieces. Now, I know this looks crazy, but it'll be one of those things that probably keep my students from knocking somebody out. So some of this I will take to work and have kids pick like their favorite artists. Now, they can't have Prince now. Wait a minute. We gonna have to do Prince to be up. But they have Madonna, Prince, Elvis Presley, Cher, Beyonce, Nina Simone, Dolly Parton, Weird Al, and the Beatles. Since I want Prince myself, I'll let them have Beyonce. But yeah, paint by stickers. I thought that was cool. And then yesterday when I got in, I spent a couple of days with my mom. And so this book also was in my cart. No, it was in my cart, but I was supposed to go see this author in an author talk, but they canceled and wound up doing it online instead of in person. But the bookstore contacted the people who purchased tickets to the book talk to see if we wanted to come into the bookstore and get the book, or did we want it mailed to us. And so the bookstore is in Brooklyn. I could have conceivably gone and got it, but I didn't know how my schedule was gonna be, so I had it sent to me, and that's The Ladies' Hall by Vanessa Miller. So that came in. It says, the lives of real heroes prove the truth. Equality is one when we rise together. So, and I still haven't got Filling Station. I want that. The American Queen I have on Kindle, but I think what I'm gonna do is, like, when if Book Outlet has it, I'd rather have it because I'll get that in Filling Station and have all of them together. So yeah, that is my August book haul, and I think that might be it. Yeah, I got a new little book stand, makeshift book stand, because this was looking crazy. And so I'm gonna go back to Home Goods and see if they have another one and put that here, and that would do the rest of the books. Not totally going on a book ban, but I'm going to be book conscious. because I got a lot going on, and this is the space that's designated for my books. And I don't want to overdo it, and I actually really do want to read my books. So am I going on a complete book buying ban? No. But my books that I purchase are going to be like auto buy authors for me. Unless I get like discounted books, or I go to Dollar Tree, because I go to Dollar Tree a lot. So yeah, I'm just going to be chilling, drinking my wine, sipping my coffee, occasionally some tea, reading my books. I have 2 more weeks for my vacation is coming to a close, so hopefully I'll get through some more books and do some videos about what I'm doing weekly in the summertime and what I'm reading. But I'm just gonna enjoy these last 2 weeks, drink my coffee and my wine, and do all the things. If you made it this far in the chat, as we usually do, drop a book stack and tell me what you have bought recently. What was your book haul as of late, and share a book that you recommend me looking into, or a book from my book haul, something that you're interested in. So just drop a book stack to let me know you were here, suggest a book, or tell me a book that you bought recently. And then once you do that, you know what to do. Like, comment, subscribe, and share, and I'll see you in the next video. Deuces. Bye.